We're studying the book of 1 Corinthians, which is a letter written by the great apostle Paul, mostly about how to live out faith together in a practical way. And speaking of togetherness, there are some statements in the book that cause controversy about gender roles in church. Gender roles always seem to be controversial, and the subject can be painful. Some people dismiss the entire Jesus faith because they think it's anti-woman. But is that even remotely true? In the early days of the faith, Christianity was actually more likely to be criticized for being too permissive, too liberal in how it addressed gender roles or racial roles or other socioeconomic roles. So what's going on here? Have people understood these controversial bits of Scripture correctly? The best way to deal with problems in understanding passages of the Bible is to let the rest of the Bible help you. In this case, we want to let the whole collection of Paul's writing inform what we think he's saying about gender roles in this one passage. In general, there are good ways to think through such passages. It's not too difficult to arrive at a commonsensical understanding of the nature of confusing texts. But what does make it hard sometimes is people's anxieties about Scripture. For example, lots of people say that this particular passage was not written by Paul, but was in fact added into manuscripts later by someone desiring to push a certain political agenda. But if that's true, does it mean that we can't trust the Bible, that it might have been too corrupted by textual vandals through the ages? I think that when you get a feel for Scripture and the whole story of God, it's easy enough to figure out what belongs, what doesn't, and what it all means when taken together. So, how about some anxiety-free scriptural understanding of gender roles in church?